Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Make sure to like the video if you've enjoyed it and don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate any audience participation as you're well aware. Today we're looking at a brand new card. I believe this was a promotional card which was leaked about a month ago. It's Chaos Grepher. It's meant to support, the Twilight decks, so those that work on like the Chaos forms, light and dark attributes. It's a light level 4 warrior effect monster, 1700 attack and 1600 defense. That doesn't surprise me. It's the same stat line as the original grepher and the other inclinations. I think there's a light ray version of grepher as well with the same stat line. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. One while face up on the field. This card is also a dark attribute. Doesn't surprise me at all. Some of these cards do treat themselves as both, even though it says in the card, basically on the card symbol, just one attribute. 2, this is the effect we're in for. You can discard one light or dark monster, and you can send one light or dark monster with a different attribute from your deck to the graveyard. But for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon monsters with the same name the sent monster had in the graveyard. So this card is really good for Chaos decks, and I have to say it is so good for the Chaos deck. I'll tell you why. First, you're getting rid of one of your specific attribute monsters, and then you just basically dump the other one. So if you don't have any cards in your graveyard, and you've got something like Chaos Sorcerer in your hand, you've got Blackluster Soldier, you've got Chaos Emperor Dragon, and various other monsters that can summon through the same means. I think there's something called Chaos Betrayer as well. You will have the requirements necessary to do that. The other benefit of this card is even though you're sending these cards to the graveyard, you remember you're sending the other attribute from your deck to the graveyard, not your hand to the graveyard. This means if it has a graveyard effect, it can be triggered. So you've got things like Plague Spreader. It might not be able to be triggered in the same turn, but that's obviously so it doesn't become a broken card. It helps to set up massively for alternative plays. It's just so good for what it can do. It's kind of necessary within the Chaos deck, and it's definitely a staple I would consider running 3 of. Even if you're not going for like a hybrid deck, it's kind of it's needed just to be able to do what you need to a lot faster. The only downside I would have for this card is, of course, the limitation that you can't actually special summon monsters with the same name. So if you've drawn into a card like that anyway, that's potentially a risk and could slow down your strategy. Or if your opponent is able to kind of do something like Call from the Grave and get rid of that monster, that is going to be a definite problem for you. It also can't reflexively interact with your opponent's hand traps. So if they use something that can get rid of this, or can shut down its effect, such as Effect Veiler, then that's it. You're kind of stalled for the deck you're running. What do you think of this card? Is this something you can see being used of? How many would you use? And do you see any problems with this card? Whatever you think, leave your comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it,